While the people in the crowd use the QR code to vote who they think will win, we have the tail of the tape here. Now talk to me, there's a 3-inch difference in height, a 5-inch difference in weight, a 4-inch difference in reach. On paper, do those matter?
Absolutely, they can matter definitely at the highest levels of boxing. For this, we'll see if there's enough training to make it into an advantage. The way reach works in boxing, if you can hit your opponent and they can't hit you, you're winning. Right? So if you have longer reach, you can hit them further away than they can hit you. It's going to be up to Chris to try to get inside of Overtflow's reach. Ducking, dodging, getting in tight. If he can land those body shots, he's going to have a good time.
Well, guys, we do start with the chess, and we have another situation where the better boxer potentially, well, in this case, actually kind of proven and has a track record, is slightly the underdog in the chess, right? We heard that from the fighters themselves. About 300 points difference, just like the last one. Will it matter? Once again, just like we saw last time, I'm not convinced.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see how they open up and how this first round shakes out prior to the complication of fatigue, of headshots, and everything else that comes along with a boxing round. So they're about to make their ways to the center of the ring. As a reminder, they are wearing noise-canceling headphones with some nice classical music going on inside. So we can't hear any coaching from ringside. No coaches can coach on chess, and no kind of cheering or coaching from the stands either.
And it's worth noting one more time exactly how this event can be won, exactly how it functions. So let's pull up that card. It's 7 total rounds. The odd rounds are chess, the even rounds are boxing. The first 3 chess rounds are going to be 2 minutes apiece. The final one's 4 minutes, where a winner has to be decided by timeout.
Yes.
The 3 rounds of boxing, the even rounds, will be 90 seconds each, where they'll have their chance to maybe knock out, TKO, or just punch their opponent enough till they're done.
Yes, and that's important because in chess, the game could theoretically go on forever. That's why we add the timer. But the problem is both players also need a separate allotment of time, because one guy could just sit there, right? So that's why we have the time for both the players, but we also have the overall timer. That's why the last round can go up to 4 minutes.
And worth noting, how quick is a 5-0 game? It's 10 minutes total across both players' clocks. It's kind of fast.
Let me tell you, if that's all you play, it's fast. If it's something like you play, 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, 5 minute feels like, an entire day's worth of chess, personally. And in here, after you get punched, probably feels like you've lived 6 months in that ring.
And for most people, when they're playing chess, they're playing with their grandpa, their dad. They're probably not playing with a timer. So it's a completely different animal when you add that time element. You got to think quick. You got to remember to hit the timer. We might see some matches tonight. I've seen fighters that completely forget to hit it. Time's just ticking down, and you're losing part of your advantage. You're stair-stepping your way to losing.
Yeah, that's funny. When you do that over the board, you play like a player that forgets to press the clock. You pretend like you're thinking.
That's what I did. I did that in competition. The guy forgot to hit the timer, and I was like, trying to move pieces.
You bribed him?
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, my
He
God.
slow-rolled him as the time. No, but it's a legit strategy. I mean, if you don't, it's part of the game. You didn't hit the clock. Don't be mad at him.
So the audience prediction, that's the in-crowd audience, predicted a 62.9% chance that Overtflow would win. Of course, this is both the chess and the boxing that you have to take into account. We'll see if Chris can prove them wrong right now.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it's because of the experience in the boxing, right? And just being around other influencer boxers. And I think people are putting a lot at stake there. I think the chess is much more of a toss-up at this level. We saw even in the last game, 1400 rated opponent, queen's hanging. He's like, I'm going to defend my queen. That's not how it works. You move it out of the way when it's under attack.
Yep.
Absolutely, but having months to prepare for this specific format versus stepping in last minute, they might be overestimating the prior boxing experience in exchange for this sport, which is different.
He's got his headphones out now, can I say it? His last boxing match was a 15-second knockout. He got knocked out. Does that help experience-wise, Matt?
That can actually kind of seep into someone's subconscious. Like, you don't want to experience that again, not just from like a physical trauma kind of perspective, but also from like a look kind of perspective. Like, it's not a good look to get knocked out in 15 seconds. So we'll see how he bounces back from that, how mentally tough he is, and maybe that black belt in jiu-jitsu comes into play there. I'm sure he's been submitted a lot. I'm sure he's come back from those. Let's see what happens.
And we do have a bird's eye view once again. We'll wait a little bit for our physical board to adjust. We have a queen's pawn opening played, and there's the board actually. We have a lot of hesitation on move 1 from Overtflow, who he almost forgot to press the timer just like we talked about.
He got it right there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, time matters a lot. Now, you can get through about 2 rounds of boxing as long as you're making moves. If you don't move for too long, the ref will literally count down from 10 to force you to make a move. You can't just sit still because we need to see a show here.
We do have a check, by the way. We have a, oh, the board was set up wrong. But then they're flipping the board around the right way.
Yeah, we need to get that right.
That's a fun one to mess up.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting question I have is Overtflow taking his time here because he's actually like thinking and a little hesitant, or he's like,
you read my mind,
is he
dude.
trying to get to the boxing?
This might be a strategy where he's taking a lot of time at the beginning to make sure he maximizes his potential in the boxing ring because he thinks he might have an advantage there.
Well, then the question is Chris able to play quick enough? Is he able to play sharp enough that the 3rd round of chess, if he gets through 2 rounds of boxing, will be a guaranteed win because Overtflow will be left with a minute?
Unfortunately, the opening that Chris has used here is like a London fusion kind of opening. He's trying to play a London. His opponent is playing God knows what, frankly, but he's still getting it's the London opening God knows what variation. But the problem is that the timer's going to expire, and I think Overtflow is just going to throw some hands for 90 seconds.
Yeah, and the question is, can Chris defend himself enough? The audience clearly thinks there's an advantage for the man with the most boxing experience here, which is fair until the next chess round.
That's correct. If the boxing ends, you gas yourself out, you don't knock the guy out, and you're dead lost, suddenly chess becomes the front runner for victory for one of the 2 competitors.
Levy, can you talk a little bit about how important it is to control the center of the board? What does that mean for early chess, and how do you see this board?
Yes, actually, the craziest thing is Black has 0 control of the center. I mean, you can argue that point as the round ends. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But it's a very good start for Chris.
Yeah, let me jump in there and talk about the equivalent in boxing. Controlling the center of the ring in boxing is called ring generalship, and it's very similar to chess, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. But you can almost push your opponent into ropes, into the corner, and exert your will, controlling the center of the board, just like controlling the center of the ring.
Yes, because not everybody's Muhammad Ali. Not everybody goes to the ropes, and that's it. Right? That's the end of the fight. I mean, in this case, get your king to safety really pay off. That's exactly what stands is very good, actually. If he remembers punches while under pressure. So we're about to find out how good these guys are at boxing and if you can recover from one of those knockouts.
I mean, let's not forget, we can say this out loud. That was a 1-minute time advantage for Chris.
That's correct.
That's huge.
Yes.
Going into the next round of chess.
First one
and we'll see how the boxing goes. He's able to get there. Maybe if PJ's able to get there. Let's hear it one more time before they get ready. Let's give it up for Chris Broad.
Look, Box looked great in that round. He got most of the replays, too.
Yeah, he did. Replay guy loves Box. And let's give it up for Overtflow.
It's fan.
But Stan's one knockdown already, one stoppage.
So round one more time
if he gets 3 more in the that's right. So they're about to
Blake guy loves Box.
Physical combat. Both
not a
Stans
fan.
Of wearing headgear. So look for shots landed to the temple. Look for shots landed to the chin. They're about to be read their instructions by another one of our boxing officials tonight, head of LA Chessboxing, Andrew McGregor.
I'm so nervous.
Dude, I'm getting like
my
nervous.
heart is racing.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good one.
Yeah, we wanted to have heart monitors on the fighters. Why not have heart monitors on the commentators?
I'm hearing the chessboard play right now.
All right, we are seconds out from beating this boxing round. Let's see if they touch gloves or not. We're touching gloves, and we begin. 90 seconds coming in. All right, starting out early. Chris is trying to find distance with a jab. A very nice jab from PJ Overtflow, who's standing in a southpaw stance. Southpaw means that you're fighting with your right hand forward, left hand back. That means he's probably left hand dominant. We just saw a big switch back to regular stance with a big overhand right, and he's back to southpaw.
How common is it to switch? Is that a normal thing for fighters?
Usually it either shows that you're extremely experienced or extremely inexperienced.
Which one do you think it's here?
I think he's extremely confident.
He's walking around a lot. The thing is, he can stall the time by walking around, but if they get back to chess, he's down a minute in time.
That's right. And one thing to look out for here is as both of the fighters are throwing shots, do they keep their guard at home? Is that other hand protecting their chin? Sometimes that comes down to your chest. Sometimes it comes all the way down to your waist. Keeping that guard up for anything that could come back is a really important for defense.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Overtflow's keeping the hands low because he thinks he's fast and he's got the speed advantage, right? He's not worried about the counterpunching.
He's channeling Ali. He thinks he has the range and the timing and the distance.
Oh, we're about to see a takedown here.
Chris Broad.
Okay, bringing out some of the jiu-jitsu skills. I don't think that's applicable in the ring.
well,
Ref breaks it up.
I don't.
And we
So
have
15 seconds left.
Yep, 15 seconds.
End of the round coming up.
Slowest of the fights we've seen tonight in our fourth
Absolutely.
bout.
I think Overflow needed a little bit of a faster
Whoa.
start.
Bit of a hook in the arm there by Overtflow, pulling in Chris. They break up there.
3 seconds remaining.
Last shot, and here we go. Time, bell rung, and back to the corners they go. Gloves coming off, and getting ready to come back to the chessboard.
I mean, what did you think about that round? How did it go?
Yeah, I think a clear advantage in that first boxing round to Overtflow. He was able to gauge distance. He was able to feint and then throw a shot based off of a reaction of his opponent, Chris. Wasn't completely one-sided. I wouldn't give it like a 10-8 round. It's probably a 10-9, but we'll see what the judges saw in that first boxing round. But now it's up to the fighters to wash that last round out of their brains and start to refocus on chess. If you're thinking about anything about other than the present, you're doing it wrong.
And as the Fansly Sky Table descends, I have to let you all know to sign up for Fansly for free to see exclusive behind-the-scenes content from this event. We've been shooting it all weekend. Shout out to Yan. He's been cooking behind the scenes. You can sign in with Twitch to see your favorite creators who are already creating content on Fansly. They have over 200,000 creators and an algorithm to help you find the next creator or content you are into. Thank you to Fansly for making the Mogul Chessboxing Championship happen.
Yo, I gotta say, there's some juicy behind-the-scenes content. I saw that Fansly camera back in the locker room. They were up in the suites with us. That's some cool stuff. Go check out that app.
We're talking shop back there. We're getting a little crazy. We're getting a little nuts back there. You know how it is. And now we're about to enter the second chess portion. So, Levy, catch us up to speed. What happened in the first round? What is the position we're in? Who has the advantage?
Well, by the way, we had a little board update here, and fans are going to see it as well. It seems as though, and I can't say too much, by the way, about specific moves.
Okay, yeah,
specific
okay,
moves,
that's a good
right?
point.
Because the players don't have their headphones on, but White got a very strong advantage in that early going. Now, Black is down on time. Black has a slightly worse position. It's clear that Chris has the advantage in the chess. Does he have a substantial enough advantage now to apply pressure throughout the next round and the round after that? I was actually thinking Overflow was going to come out a little stronger in the boxing. But he might be just gauging how good his opponent is and really amp it up in the second round of boxing if he can get through this round. He's not in any danger, I don't think, of losing the game, but I think in that third round of chess, he is.
This is a setup round. He is down on time. As long as he moves appropriately in this round, he probably won't lose on time. That being said, he's also down in position. So he needs to be thinking, okay, can I knock this guy out? If not, I need to step up my chess game. I need to move a little faster. I need to find a better position.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, and like a setup round makes sense, I think, in a traditional boxing match, but with 3 total rounds, is that a viable strategy?
Yeah, setup round in terms of like his board position and setting up for the next chess round. He knows he has a little advantage on boxing. He did really well in that first round. I think he just needs to decide whether or not he wants to keep pushing it on chess or keep moving slow to see if he can knock out his opponent in the next boxing round.
And by the way, there is a move in this position that's apparently there. It's been, bishop takes pawn! That was the setup there. And we had an exchange of glances from the players like, you SOB, you took the pawn. And now the king's got to go. By the way, White's bishop has had the opportunity to take this rook for about 8 moves now. We can just keep a timer of how long, and White is completely winning here. Completely winning. An experienced player will chop down a few pieces in front of Black's king, get in, and win the game. If White stalls for any longer, the round will end, and Black will survive, and then really go for the knockout in the next round of boxing.
That's a really good point there. So Chris has to make moves quickly so that he keeps the pressure on PJ to make moves. That way he can make a bad move.
And he's not. Just to point this out, he stalled for about 30 seconds here. You cannot do that in this format. You can if you have like a mate in 3. He doesn't, and oftentimes when you spend a lot of time, you do something that's not optimal. Because if you had a good move, you would have played it fast.
He's not playing to his advantage, right? Like he has a clear advantage in chess. The next boxing round, we'll see if he puts together the strategy of being super defensive and trying to get back to the chessboard. Survive, get back to the chessboard, and try to checkmate.
Yeah, and I think the digital board might be slow. I do see some moves. Maybe we can get a bird's eye view of what's going on because we only have 30 seconds left in the round. It would be good at least to see if Black's king is about to survive this attack, or because I do see moves have been played, but.
Yeah, I think we have technical difficulties on both the board and the clock right now. I have seen Chris touch the clock, and it keeps counting down on his. So this is not the current state of the game. If we can get an overhead shot, maybe we see an update.
Yeah, we're going to switch it over right now. I think this might be the updated position here.
And we have we have 5 seconds left in this chess round.
There it is.
There's the bird's eye view. We do see Black's king under severe pressure as the bell rings.
And there's the bell. Back to the corners, back with the gloves. Headphones are off and gloves are on. We're about to get back to boxing, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it for the next boxing round.
Yeah, we didn't get to see some of the moves there at the end, but it did seem to be a continuation of the first round of chess.
It's worse.
Okay.
I can't say how bad.
We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later.
They gotta get those headphones back on. I can't tell you how bad it's bad. It's real bad.
We'll get through the next round of boxing, our second of 3 rounds. By the way, if you guys are watching at home, there are almost 300,000 people watching this event. Also to everybody at Dave & Buster's. Woo! How's it going? Welcome to Dave & Buster's. You guys are able to not only watch this broadcast in English, we also have this broadcast being broadcast in French and Spanish. If you click on the gear in the bottom right corner, you'll see that it'll switch over to French, to Spanish very easily, very quickly for your viewing pleasures. First time it's ever happened on a YouTube live stream.
Making history left and right here. Biggest chess boxing event in history. First trilingual live stream. How badass is that?
I mean, it might be like the biggest chess event in history. Like, if we get a few more hours into this, yeah, seriously, live concurrent viewership of World Championship might have been 250K.
Let's go chess boxing.
Yeah, there we
go.
go.
Take that, chess.
And let's talk a little bit about Nick, Chris's coach here.
Yeah, Nick is a total badass. Chris has a great guy in his corner, a former world champion in K1 kickboxing. Had one of the most legendary fights in Japan. And Ludwig, I know you watched that one. What do you think of that big fight Nick had?
I don't know what you need to look it up on YouTube, but it's him fighting this 6'8", 270-pound Korean guy, and it's him 5'10", David versus Goliath, chopping him down like a tree. Beautiful to watch, and that's who trained Chris. So if that gives you any confidence going into the second fight,
guys,
I don't know what will.
I just want to say one thing. So I keep saying that Overtflow has to put it on in the boxing, right? But that's because I'm aware how bad his position is. His position is real bad.
Great over-the-shoulder hook landed by Overtflow. Switching stance again, back to regular.
Yeah, he's got a minute and 10 seconds to put this away.
And both fighters showing good feints. Feints are great to get your opponent to react to something, to see how they'll do it next time you throw the feint. So you feint a jab, you see they tense up too much, you know what to throw the next time around. So both opponents are feeling each other out. Overtflow is definitely going to the lead hook a lot. He's landed that a lot, and if it isn't broken, don't fix it, right? He keeps going back to it. Big swing and a miss. Chris got his number that time, backed up just out of range, and Overtflow missed that lead hook that had been working for him over and over again.
And I want to reiterate your point, Levy. As you said, the chess position is so bad for White that he has to make up the damage in the boxing.
Yes, but does he know that? That's the question.
I
does
think
he know how bad it is?
Because
he's fighting like he's a Mortal Kombat character. I mean, he stands like hands down, ready to go, but he's got 25 seconds to apply some pressure right now. Well, we do have our first stoppage, right, Matt?
Yep.
So one stoppage for Overtflow. It looks like Chris is fine, though. He's ready to continue. Gloves touch. We're right back into the action, and low time on the clock. Only 15 seconds to go for these two fighters in the boxing round.
Overtflow has looked great this round.
Yeah, he did get the standing count, but it doesn't matter unless he's able to convert that in the third round of boxing to 4 total standing counts.
That's correct. 3 knockdowns in a round is tough. So if he doesn't get another one in this last 1 second, which he didn't.
Whoa.
A little grappling, maybe from that jiu-jitsu background at the end of the round. And both fighters go back to their corners. Gloves come off and back to the board in just a minute.
Yeah, great round by Overtflow. And by the way, for everybody watching online, stick around until the end because the final card after it's over comes with a huge surprise from Cash App. They are giving away thousands of dollars, only at the end though, all right? Because I didn't want to ruin chat experience for the first 9 rounds. So stick around, you'll be able to win a lot of money. Thank you to Cash App for making that possible. They'll have a big surprise for you all then.
Convince me.
Yeah, who doesn't like free
me
money?
like every 15 minutes.
Free money?
You're sticking around?
Everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll stick around.
Yeah, I'm ready to get in chat.
And talk to me a little bit about that round again. Let's back it up. I think we might have some replays. How did you feel about it, Matt?
Yeah, so Overtflow's go-to punch is that over-the-shoulder lead hook. He gauges where that jab's going to be and where that lead hand is going to be a little low. He feints, and then he throws this over-the-shoulder, catches him right on the chin. I think he landed 4 or 5 to my count. And Chris by the end of the round was getting the hang of it. He was stepping back out of range, letting that lead hook just whiff, and he was coming back with some jabs, some feints of his own. So Chris held his own in that round. He did get one stoppage. We'll see if that comes into play in the third boxing round, but for now, he's in a great position in this chess round, coming back to the board. Headphones are about to go back on, and they're about to pick up where they left off.
This is everything that chess boxing is about. We have one guy who's won 2 very clear rounds of the chess, and we have an opponent that's won very clear rounds of boxing. I mean, really, this is like what the sport just encapsulated with that description of events.
Brain and brawn, and let's see who can get a win condition first. That's what it's all going to come down to.
And let's talk a little bit about this, because there's only 1 round left of boxing. There's 2 rounds left of chess. From what you've seen so far in the boxing rounds, do you think it can be decided? I mean, anything can happen, but...
I mean, absolutely. Anything can happen in a boxing round. There can be one punch from either side that completely shifts the momentum and could end it all. That being said, we're back to the chess round now.
Yeah,
anything can happen on chess, too. We can blunder.
Not anything can happen. White has checkmate in 2 moves.
Wait. What?
Yeah.
Show me.
Well, we're gonna get it. Oh well, hold on. Hold on a minute.
Pump the brakes on
All right.
Make sure that bell rings and that music's on.
Yes,
They have the soundproof headphones on,
Yes,
so
we
they're
have
not
a
able
bird's
to
eye
hear
view.
us.
It's Black's move, and White has knight to h7 check, and he's given up his queen. He gave up his queen. He gade up his queen. He had mate in 2 on the board.
Oh, that fatigue, those lead hooks coming into play, giving away the queen, giving away
Oh
his
my
advantage.
God! He had mate in 2. I was waiting so long to not say anything because they could hear me. Oh my gosh! He lost his queen instead.
Incredible.
Yeah, he just had his queen take the piece defending the king.
Yeah, knight check.
Now here we go. Let's see if he can keep his composure and come back from this. It's all about making a mistake and moving on, not dwelling on it, not living in the past.
He has nothing. He has nothing here. His pieces have no way forward now because every square is covered and his rooks are stuck behind pawns. Black is completely winning.
Well, I think the one thing that's on Chris's side is he was able to get into that position to be in mate in 2 through the first
He had a
round.
queen, Ludwig.
All right, well, he could do it again, man. Believe.
I mean, yeah, the pawns can promote, but good luck here. I'm so stressed out, but he is bringing the rook. And in 50 seconds worth of time, I'm looking at the timer, Overtflow has stalled. He has moved his pieces back and forth.
Yep.
All right, he is not trying to take the fight to White. White actually can still win this game. You are right, but it's, the chess gods have to watch.
It's going to be a lot tougher, and the fact of the matter is it doesn't feel like there will be a conclusive ending in the chess round this time, in this next whatever minute that there is left, which means 30 seconds, that Overtflow has one final chance in the boxing to seal the deal.
Yes.
Otherwise, the final 4-minute round of chess, by time advantage alone, is big in favor of White, although the pieces might not.
That's right. Black has 90 seconds here, and he is trying to stall a little bit. He is looking at the match time. It's absolutely a strategy.
And in this last 15 seconds, I trained with Chris Broad in the week leading up to this. We got in this low time advantage type of place where even if you're losing on the board, you can play that time and work towards that win condition of your opponent running out. So let's see if he remembers that and puts it into play.
All right, the round is over.
Yeah, that's it. He ends with 1:08 on the clock to Chris's 2 and 50 seconds. Over double the amount of time. It will all come down to can each competitor make it to the final chess round.
We have a little blooper, by the way. I'm pretty sure on the bird's eye view, an illegal move was made at the end, I think. Somehow the bishop became a light squared bishop from being a dark squared bishop. That's not allowed. I don't know. The arbiter's got to take care of that on break. So
what a transition. So the way that works rule-wise is when an illegal move is made, it counts as a penalty. A penalty will take a punch off of how the boxing rounds is scored if it goes to stalemate or a draw condition. So those illegal moves do matter. It won't make it lose, but it will matter if it comes to a decision, a judge's decision.
Did you hear that? That was Chris. He was just yelling over at us. He was mad about the queen move. Obviously, he recognizes now that was a bit of a blunder.
Yeah.
But, of course, he still has time advantage in one round of boxing to prove himself. And as we wait for the sky table to lift, big thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring this event. NordVPN.com/Ludwig is the place to go to get around region lock content. Stop your ISP from seeing where you're going and get 4 months free with a 2-year plan. Thank you to Nord as we enter our 6th and final round of boxing.
Most important part of each of these rounds is the first 30 seconds. How do you manage your state change? Are you psyched up for the beginning of a boxing round? Are you calm enough at the beginning of a chess round? What we just saw is a blunder on the first move of a chess round. Fatigue was still there. Headshots were still there. Whatever it was there. And now we're touching gloves, getting back into the boxing round. Let's see how this first 30 seconds shakes out.
It's actually
A minute, 30 seconds.
Yeah, and Chris is actually more urgent.
Yes.
He's more urgent now because he's down the queen.
He wants to prove himself in the ring. He has trained for 6 months. When he got that health report in Japan, he turned his life around, and this is his moment to show the gains that he has made.
Summoning everything he has in this last boxing round. A great counterpunch lands by Overtflow, but Chris is not backing down. He's still coming forward. He's still throwing jabs, trying to get inside the range of Overtflow.
Oh,
big
overhand right
by Chris.
And the way Overtflow moves, walking hands down, big hooks, it's like fighting a Dark Souls monster.
Yeah.
Yo.
That's what I said. It's like a Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, what do you do?
Chris is running around the ring trying to find an opening. It's a clear difference in fighting styles, and about 40 seconds remains. Each of these guys have their final 40 seconds to prove what they've got in this ring.
That's right, and it is a legit style. Fighting with your hands down, baiting shots, it's a counter punch style. I want you to try to hit me so that you open yourself up and I can come back with a shot when you open up your hole.
25 seconds. They're gonna have to put what they have on the line. Tell me what you're seeing here, Matt.
Yeah, another lead hook lands for Overtflow. That is his go-to punch, and it is still working for him. They're both pawing at each other, finding distance, finding timing.
Smiling, too.
Winding up that right hand.
It's like a 1930s comic.
Or like DK from Smash, right? Whoop, 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 whoop. Bam!
5 seconds remaining in the boxing for this matchup.
2 seconds.
1.
And time.
That is it.
Bell rings. Andrew McGregor steps between the two fighters. Back to their corners, gloves come off, and this match will be settled on the chessboard. Let's see how it goes.
Now
This is so wild.
we talked about the first round of boxing being in Overtflow's favor, thinking that maybe he was testing out the spacing, what worked, what didn't. But after the 3 rounds, it didn't feel like he was able to capitalize on whatever advantages we might have seen.
Yeah, I think in dynamic, real time, Overtflow changed his strategy. Because of that queen blunder, now he didn't have to be super aggressive in boxing. He has an advantage on the board, so he can be a little bit more defensive. He can let Chris come at him, and let's see what happens in this chess round if Overtflow made the right bet of being a little bit more calculated and defensive in the ring.
Yeah, just so everybody watching at home and here live right now, you guys are great, by the way. Give yourselves a round of applause. Everybody has to understand one thing. Black does not have a lot of time on the clock. And his position is great, but his strategy hasn't been, I'm going to win the chess. He's actually made a lot of moves back and forth and taken advantage of his opponent's mistakes. So he's going to have to play fast or he's going to lose on time.
It's a great point. He's got to move quick now. That time advantage is big, and Chris knows how to take advantage of that. So let's see if they can do it.
Well, also, it's worth noting, this is the first fight that's gone the distance. We are at the 7th round here, and the final round of chess is 4 minutes as opposed to 2. Now, this is by design because it's a 5-0 game, meaning they each have 5 minutes, 0 seconds added per move. That's 10 minutes total.
Yep.
So you have to eventually reach the 10th minute, and that's what this 7th round is made for.
That's right. And if you go on chess.com and you pick a blitz game, that 5-minute time control is how most of these fighters train, knowing that it was going to be 5 minutes, 0 increment.
And you can flag, but not if you're making mistakes like putting your bishop on the wrong square.
That is correct. And by the way, that has been amended. The bishop is back on its normal square. We're going to get the digital board up in a moment. Basically, look, folks, here's what's going on. Chris had a fantastic game of chess. He was 2 moves away from winning, and he lost everything. That's basically chess in a nutshell, right? I mean, seriously, like, we've all played chess before. Now he's using the rest of his pieces to generate an attack. He no longer needs to do that. Yeah. He doesn't have to win by checkmate anymore. He can actually use the clock because this is a longer round of chess.
Absolutely. We'll see if they put those strategies together, if they're able to apply them after that hectic boxing round. Chris super active, coming forward, throwing shots. Overtflow relying on his go-to punch, that lead hook over the top. Great boxing round. But let's see how they manage their heart rate. Let's see how they manage their mindset. Let's see if they can play to their advantages.
And it's going to start with Chris's first move. Talk to me about the board, Levy.
Yeah, this is not a good position for white, let's put it this way. But when you consider that black does not have a lot of time on the clock, about 1.5 minutes in a 4-minute round, that also is not a good situation. It's going to come down to the buzzer. We have a bird's eye view here of the board. Maybe we can get a little zoom in of how much time the players have remaining. It's a very tense situation indeed, but I don't like the fact that Chris is taking so much time.
It seems like
the timer is not counting down, so the ref is fixing that now.
Oh, no.
Far right button.
Okay, looks like some
There we
issues
go.
with the
We're
timers. Bit of technical difficulty they're working
Oh, that's
through
going to
right
be an
now.
unlimited chess game. They just play with no clock. We'll just be here until midnight.
Yeah, we'll see if who can figure out how to figure out a checkmate.
White just moved.
We're
Time
adjusting
in.
the
Black
chess.
to move. Timer.
About to be set. Listen, there's a lot of pressure. You know, you normally set a chess clock around 40 people in a chess tournament.
And time in. We're back.
And there we go.
Yeah, this is 300,000 people watching online, thousands in the arena. Let's give it up. These two fighters have poured their heart out in the ring, both with the brains and the brawn. This will guarantee a winner, either by timeout, stalemate, or checkmate. Those are the three ways it can happen.
That's right, and right in the middle of the board, Overtflow had an outpost, a pawn protecting a power piece, and that was broken up by Chris Broad, taking that pawn, that protector, with his knight.
Black has 1 minute and 10
Wait,
seconds
Levy, right
remaining.
here, the knight is blocking F2.
Oh, he took the rook! Oh, no, that is a massive, massive mistake by White. And by the way,
Wait,
can I-
why?
Oh,
he
he lost the
left
rook.
his
And
rook hanging.
hello? That's, you know what happens when the opponent gets to the
Yeah.
other side of the board? Oh my goodness, Black is completely winning, but he has no time to prove it.
And he doesn't defend the pawn advancing. He could get a queen right now, and
Yes, he can.
doesn't.
But he doesn't. He doesn't. And he hasn't pressed the clock. He hasn't pressed the clock. Guys, he hasn't pressed the clock.
Wait, Chris he
He's
made
just-
it. He made a move.
He should just sit there and think, there he did it.
Chris just
He did
helped
it,
him
he did it.
out.
50 seconds on Overtflow's clock right
and what's
now.
the match time? Like, what's the match clock situation? We don't
He's
even
moving his
know.
other
48
pawn.
seconds
He's moving his
left on
other
the clock.
pawn.
Yes, he doesn't. He forgot that his pawn is on the board and they can queen.
They both did. What is going on?
Oh my
Shuffling
God,
the
it's right
pieces.
there. It's right there. You can get a queen, dude.
There's
Oh my
2
gosh.
total minutes
Yes.
left on the match clock. There will be a winner guaranteed. 45
Yes.
seconds for
Wow,
Over.
Yeah.
every move is is not the pawn getting a queen.
Yeah, he doesn't see it. He simply doesn't see it. Oh my gosh, he can have another queen on the board right now.
Looks like Chris moved his king up so there can be no attacks in the back rank, which might even stop Overtflow from noticing what he has.
And by the way, do you see there's 2 queens on the side of the board? That is literally for this situation.
Yeah.
So if you have 1 queen on the board, you can get a second one.
I wonder if Chris is just like poker facing this, like knows it's there but knows he hasn't watched it. He's just letting it be.
90 seconds remaining overall, and how much time for Black? About 30 seconds, if I'm seeing that correctly.
My heart
35
is
seconds
racing.
left for Black.
35.
So Black has to win by checkmate, or it's over. Black has to win by checkmate, or this entire round is over, right?
All right, Chris is advancing the bishop.
Oh, and he hasn't pressed the clock.
Queen
He hasn't
takes
pressed the
in
clock.
check.
He's not
And
pressing the clock.
Gets the queen back.
He didn't press the clock. Overtflow with so many technical errors. 24 seconds
24
remaining.
is, White has to move. White just has to go. 1 minute remaining on the
Keep
match
moving,
clock.
Chris.
And 20 seconds remaining for Black, but now less than a minute for White as well.
Someone will be crowned a winner, whether it's in 21 seconds or a minute. We have not yet seen. Both rooks are
Coming into
deep
play.
into territory for Overtflow.
Oh no, Chris has to move. Chris has to make a move.
Oh my God.
Oh,
A check comes into play.
Oh no.
he's gonna move the.
There's a chance White loses on time. This is one scenario we haven't even considered. White might lose the game on time. It's gonna be so close. 30 seconds
15
remaining.
seconds left for Black.
As long as he keeps making moves, Chris goes to defend the pawn. He's gonna. Oh, he doesn't make the rooks into a file. 12 seconds for Overtflow.
Oh my gosh.
A take by the pawn. King takes.
10 seconds to
10
go for
seconds
Black.
remaining for
Rook
Black.
check.
And a
Rook check.
check by White.
Oh, and he doesn't see it.
Oh, no,
That's an illegal
no.
move.
That's an error.
Illegal
That's
move.
an error. It's a check. Judge comes in.
Illegal move.
Illegal move. Overtflow moved his rook when he was in check. Overtflow's gonna have to stop that. Oh my God.
We're taking it back.
So
Only
stressed
8
out.
seconds left for Black.
Holy shit, there's like 6 seconds, 8 seconds.
We're resetting the time.
Oh my
Right back to
fucking God.
before the illegal move.
So many pieces on Black.
Here we go. 6 to go.
5.
He has to make a move.
Wait, no, not yet. Blocks.
Oh
4
my God.
seconds. A
Check by
check.
Black Rook.
A discovered check, but he
What?
doesn't recognize another mistake from Overtflow.
And that's time.
And its time has run out.
And that's time.
They've called it.
Chris
Wait for it.
Broad by time.
That's a win!
What gets it? Let's hear it. Chris Broad in the white corner down to the final seconds of the match.
He
He
had
takes it home.
no business winning after blundering the queen.
Queen, and there was another queen blunder. The pawn could have become a queen.
Don't forget losing the boxing rounds. He
Yeah.
literally lost
everything.
everything except for the time,
Yes.
and he won on time.
Holy shit, my heart rate was raising. And what a smart play by Chris. Although at the end there, he did have no advantage except for time, he made a discovered check with his rook when he moved the king out of the way. In Overtflow, a new chess player didn't realize that moving the king means, oh, someone else is now looking at my king, and that's a check.
Yeah, the mistake there, just kind of throughout the game for Overtflow, is he was playing, and he was playing up to speed. First he was playing slow, then he was playing up to speed, but he didn't play the game with a demand. He wasn't trying like to knock the king out until the very end, and then his time ran out.
And what a performance. Obviously, we have Germa on stage. He's going to interview our winners and our players. Germa, take it away.
That was unbelievable. Overtflow, we got to talk. We got to talk, Overtflow. So you lost on time.
I know.
What happened?
You know, he's Mr. Affable. His calves are huge, and his chess game is even bigger. Absolutely amazing job. Very proud of him for getting in there, and I appreciate that he accepted a fight with me when it was supposed to be somebody else. I had a great time, and thank you, Ludwig. Thank you, Happy Punch. Thank you, Mogul Moves Boxing. You're the man. Appreciate you guys.
You put on a hell of a match. Hell of a match. Hey, come on over here. So you lost to Queen.
I did.
And walk us through that.
The moment I lost the queen, I was like, I'm done. I fucked it, right? Because PJ's punches were so much stronger than mine, so much better at box than I am. And I thought, straight after that first round, I was like, if I have to go 2 more rounds, I'm fucked. So to get to that last round of chess, I knew I had an extra minute. I thought I could win it. Fuck me, that was close, though. That was like the full fucking experience. But thank you so much to Nicholas Patas, my coach, to Yorske, back home as well, to my friends, family, viewers for supporting me, and for Charlotte for putting up with me. Thank you.
You guys went all the way. What an unbelievable match. Give it up for your winner, Chris, abroad in Japan.
There he is, raising the bell to 300,000 online, thousands in person.